Recording. Good afternoon. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Patricia Juba, the founder of A Life Worth Living Corp here in Taunton, Massachusetts. And I have a very special guest with us on today, and that is Leonela Gonzalez-Fogarty. She's here with us, she's sharing with us, and I can't wait to hear all that she does. And I can't wait for you to hear all that she does. So welcome, Leonela.
Thank
Leonela.
you. Thank you, Patricia. Patricia, because
Yes,
for us, with
I
you,
know.
you will have two ways to say it. Patricia with the Spanish accent, or Patricia, which I have learned through the years how to
Yeah,
say
but
it.
the Spanish version sounds like exotic, sexy.
Yeah.
How you say it in Spanish. So I don't mind it. Give me a little woo.
That's good to hear, because sometimes for us that learn English as adults, we don't sound like, we don't think that we sound uh sexy, or like
Yes, it does. Because
attractive.
I
But
can't
I'm
roll
glad.
my listen, if I try to roll my tongue how you can with words, I'll be spitting all over the place.
It's
So don't
I
worry
think
about it.
the world of languages is so fascinating, and that's that
Yes,
I'm very excited to share with you and your community. And thank you for the invitation. Yes, my name
yes.
is Leonela Gonzalez-Fogarty, and I say that I am Venezuelan American with a Bostonian heart, because I came to study to Boston 27 years ago for the
Yes.
first time, and that opened my mind, opened my opportunities in such a beautiful way that Boston is part of my heart.
That's wonderful. That's where I'm
Yeah.
from, even though I live here in Taunton
Ah,
now for the past 11 years, but I'm from Boston. So I
nice.
understand that.
Nice to hear
So
that.
I know that you were part of an anthology with
Hmm.
United Latinas, and
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
are a part writer, a co-writer in the
Hmm.
book.
Yeah.
When did you start writing?
Yeah. I I start writing. um, I have to confess, it was like a month before it was the due date to share this story. That's the behind the scene. Now,
Yes,
when did I start writing, or when did I start, I think, connecting with my story?
yes.
It was when I met another friends in the United Latinas, and they were sharing the story, and
Mm-hmm.
I started to think about, wow, it's so really powerful to share our stories, and I wasn't aware that my story could really help other people to improve their speaking English speaking skills. So when I realized, oh, what other people are saying is something that what I do, it's something
Mm-hmm.
that can help other people. And being a co-author in a book with more Latinas who are finding their way as they navigate and integrate the American culture, I
Yes.
said, well, this is a great opportunity to tell my story, because I still see that most of us that have to learn to speak English or another language as adults,
Mm-hmm.
we are still limiting ourselves. So we are
Yes,
now finding that finding that challenge as an opportunity to really connect with the world who we already are. And that's what I really
exactly.
got inspired to say, let me write my story and
Well,
join
that's
this group.
awesome. Because our testimonies and our stories are powerful. They're
Hmm.
ours. We own it.
Hmm.
We lived it.
Hmm.
We
Yeah,
breathed it.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And
That
who
that
better to tell? It's hard to tell somebody else's testimony with the impact and the passion that we have because it's our own.
yeah, 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 definitely.
All
That's
right.
I resonate with that. Yeah.
So it's a two-part question that I have. The first one I already asked you, but what inspired you? And I kind of heard that in how you responded to my first question, but is there
Mhm.
more that inspired you to write, and do you decide to continue writing?
Yeah, I, I I will say that I see a lot of people frustrated because they cannot speak English.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say
Mm-hmm.
immigrants, there's a lot of change now in the world. A
Yes.
lot of us as adults are moving to one place to another.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I experienced the same frustration 27 years ago with a
Mm-hmm.
world totally different. And I never thought that overcoming that fear
Mm-hmm.
was going to open many opportunities, that
Yes.
are unlimitless, So seeing
Yeah.
people still uh, focus on, oh no, I don't want to make mistakes, I am
Mm-hmm.
too old to learn, these are the old myth, it's
Yes.
like,
Yes.
no, 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 we cannot uh we cannot waste a time,
Right.
to 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 block, to keep limiting ourselves because we don't learn English. And I know that I can help because I did it. And I think there is a part of me that feels very happy that I believe that we have our human potential is
Mm-hmm.
unlimitless, and now there is more science behind that we can acquire and learn a second language as adults. Our brain is so powerful. So
Yes.
if we see learning a second language as an opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to communicate with other people who we already are, have our brain, like activated, and have our brain, continue making connections and growing, like neuroplasticity tells us, is like, why can we not do that? It's a new way to keep developing our potential. So I'm so
That's right.
inspired with that.
Yeah, that is inspiring, especially how you articulated that. I love that.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
So, Leonela, tell us what you do and
Yeah,
who you serve.
yeah. So I am an English immersive coach because it is important to understand that acquiring and learning language as adults requires three things: connect with the language, with something that you really like;
Mm-hmm.
immerse, because a lot of people say, I understand everything, but I don't speak, or I am afraid to talk. We need to make sure that we immerse to talk and to be
Yes.
able to communicate. And the third one is transform. We need to transform our mindset that
Yes.
our brain could do it. Fear, yes, is part of the process. And if I change my mindset into, let me communicate with Patricia, let me embrace the process, I have a lot to say, then we can definitely develop our language skills. So what I do is an English immersive coach, because language is not only grammar. We need to already see who we are and
Yes.
helping us to move in the next direction. And it's a mix of coaching and at the same time develop the skills to communicate. Um, I am the founder of English for Life, and we guide Latinas, professionals, and entrepreneurs to speak English with confidence, or in other words, is to be who they already are in English, because
Yes.
all of us have an amazing experience, many years of experience in specific areas, and we have a lot
Mm-hmm.
to offer. So a lot of my students said, I really want to express myself and find the words and just be myself in English. And that's what we
Mm-hmm.
help you to be.
That, that's wonderful. That is wonderful. So, is there any future writing? And I keep speaking about the writing only because it's fascinating. I have not read the book yet that
Mm-hmm.
you're in,
Mm-hmm.
but I desire to. Are there
Ah,
any future writings coming down the pike, or have you written anywhere else, whether it's in Spanish or English? Have you written anything?
you know, I I haven't. However, um, I noticed that in Spanish, I it comes natural when I
Yes, of
communicate,
course.
and
Yes.
however, my dad used to say, "Wow, you really communicate who you are or what you're thinking in a way that is like music, and
Yes.
that it comes natural." So I haven't thought about writing something yet. I think this opportunity with United Latina was the beginning of, wow, I could
Yes.
probably tell more about my story, learning and acquiring a second language. Yeah, I've been in this journey for more than 27 years, and I've
Hmm.
been finding new opportunities, like, so I don't know yet. Now I am very busy in taking this business off the ground. And
Yes.
that's like, and however, I'm open to tell more my story in different areas or different groups where I can share my story and also learn from others. And I like the idea of being in a book with different authors, so
Yes.
be a co-author,
Yes.
because yeah, it kind of like aligns without really knowing that all of us have similar experiences in
Yes.
different fields. Yeah.
I understand that completely because the first anthology, Transforming Pain into Purpose, that I was in that launched this January, um, we found the similarities in the stories without reading each other's chapter, but just
Mm-hmm.
hearing us speak about it in like snapshots. And then
Mm-hmm.
when we finally got the book, it's like, wow, I can see how this coincides and makes this a very cohesive, power packed book.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
totally understand what you are saying.
And yes, when you say that, it's also connect me with the title of the book is Extraordinary Latinas, Volume 3,
Yes,
Shattering Barriers and Driving Change. So
yes,
when I read all the stories, is even shattering, is that how you pronounce?
yes,
How-
shattering. Hmm.
Sharing. That is like a new word for me because that's another thing that I want to tell all of us that learn a second language as
Yes,
adults. We're always learning words. It's like
yes.
it, every language has a lot of words, so it's always
Hmm.
new words. So I understand barriers, but when I read, the title is like, oh yes, we really overcome barriers. We change barriers
Yes.
into opportunities. So for
Hmm.
me, it was like that's kind of like my core. I love to solve problems, and when I see a problem, or a challenge, I transform that in an opportunity. So being in a book where I am sharing my story of
Hmm.
transforming the challenge of speaking English as an adult in an opportunity, for me
Hmm.
was, wow, this is so amazing because
Yes,
everybody else, the stories are similar. How we overcome barriers, how we change them into opportunities. So that's great. That kind of like happens without really
yes,
knowing the story of everybody else.
exactly. But it
Yeah.
all comes together nicely to
Yeah.
make a
Yeah. Yeah.
powerful book. That's
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
saying.
Mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm.
Leonela, is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience?
Um, yes. I would like to share that when I was writing this chapter,
Hmm.
I connected with my fear of put myself out there. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, is this story perfect? Are people going to be interested in learning about my story? So in this process, I kind of like connect again with the fear of being judged or what people are going
Hmm.
to think about. And I
Yes.
thought, wow, I have overcame the fear of speaking English as adult with my accent. I feel totally myself. And
Yes.
I
Good.
thought that this writing this chapter it was gonna be easier. And then I realized, huh,
It's emotional, isn't it?
is it more? And
I
then
found that too.
I say, okay,
Yes.
this is a fear again knocking my door, in
Yes.
another area.
Mm-hmm.
So what I want to share with your audience is that fear will always pop up. I think every time we
Mm-hmm.
try something new,
Right.
every time that we, yeah, I will say we do something different in something that we're used to. For me, the opportunity is to embrace the fear, to acknowledge and take
Yes.
it as an opportunity to what do I really want and how can
Yes.
I make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
I have found that the process of speaking, English as a second language or
Mm-hmm.
learning English as an adult, is it comes with, okay, I have a challenge, then I get frozen, and then okay, what can I do? I try new practices. Do I get the results? So it's kind of like a process that we approach to anything in life.
That's
It's
right. That's right.
and I want your audience to understand that fear is an opportunity, totally opportunity to um, learn more about ourselves and at the same
Yes.
time discover something new that I don't know can take us to many places that we don't know.
That's right. You know,
Yeah.
Leonela, that was very powerful. I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad you said that
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because you're absolutely right. I felt like I was on when I was writing in the first anthology. I felt like I
Mm-hmm.
was on a roller coaster ride of emotions, and just as what you're saying, but it was like, wow, I thought I was over that, or I thought, this was a done deal. But we find that we
Mm-hmm.
weren't. We have to revisit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I understand exactly what you're saying. That was very profound. I'm so
Mm-hmm.
glad you shared that. Thank you
Mm-hmm.
so much.
You're
Leonela,
welcome.
tell us how the audience can contact you.
Yes, they contact me in Instagram, English for L Network, and they can find me in LinkedIn, Leonela Gonzalez-Fogarty. And yeah, those are my two main channels that they can contact me. And we are about to launch the last program of the year for women, Latinas, entrepreneurs, and professionals that are living here in the US.
Mm-hmm.
So, make sure that you reach out to me if you feel like you still need to polish your English or you know someone that could benefit from just embrace the fear of speaking English in an opportunity in a safe space with a very effective methodology.
All right. That is awesome. Thank you so much for being here, sharing with us. I am so grateful for your presence and your insight.
Yeah, well, thank you for this opportunity and for give me the opportunity to share my story. I have learned that in this process, it's important to talk more and more. and feel
Yes.
comfortable just exchanging our ideas. And as we do it more, we get better at. So thank you
Amen.
for
That's
thank you for
right.
this opportunity.
So we thank you all for seeing this podcast, meeting Leonela Gonzalez-Fogarty and sharing her powerful insights. Please connect with Leonela and the platforms that she said she is on Instagram and LinkedIn. Stay tuned for more of A Life Worth Living's podcast and our featured guests. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you.